Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm happy to be here at this seminar as well. So in this presentation, I will introduce some topics that come from linguistic landscape research. I'm an applied linguist myself as background, and that's why I have this approach. So that how to consider various languages and institutional language policies when we think about learning environments. First, I collected these images of various environments in which we learn. So you can see this very traditional classroom on the left bottom, and library, and also these kind of seminar rooms. This round sofa is from this building, if you wish to go there at some point. And also I chose those kind of learning environments where activities are not that much focused on speaking. For example, the figure skating group presenting, performing, and also the playground where, of course, children also talk to each other, but they do a lot of movement, and they also kind of use various semiotic resources. Also, there are these informal environments where you sit in a restaurant with your friends, for example. And I also put this multilingual learning environment course platform, which shows that, yeah, we communicate a lot also online and hybrid. And I chose these examples because in all of these environments, people learn by doing. That how we interact. Is verbality more important? Are other resources more important? Do we need to wait for our turns? Is it okay to talk in parallel with somebody in overlap? Can I choose my turn myself, or somebody assigns my turn? For example, the chair of a session or the teacher. Can I choose my language as I wish, or is there an assigned language policy that, for example, in this seminar, the presentations are in English, but in the break, we can use whatever language resources we wish and we are able to. These are very important also for learning environments from an institutional perspective, to consider and police also those various language resources that people have. I have this image from a municipality which has a Swedish majority population here in Finland. So you can see the street sign says Skolgatan, Koulukatu, so school street. I thought it would be appropriate for this seminar to walk down the school street. But here you can see that those who design these signs, and actually it's policed, so there are the policies how to design these signs. The assumption is that most of the users of that public space would prefer Swedish, so that's on the top, and then others would prefer Finnish, that's on the bottom, and all the, I don't know, dozens of languages that are also spoken in the municipality are invisible. So this is one of the main motivations of linguistic landscape research, if we look its historical development. So to look at various communities, their language resources, and how they are regulated and how they are visible or invisible. Many times also making some languages invisible is a way of silencing communities if they have an unfavorable position. Linguistic landscape as a term comes from geography research. The focus was on various languages presence in urban environments, and then already in Japan in the 70s this term was coined, but then a huge boom came with the end of the 90s, and then since then there has been lots of papers about this kind of dynamics of the speaker communities, how they actually also symbolically occupy and use the various public spaces. Turning to schoolscapes, which is my main topic, this term. So in linguistic landscape studies, there are a lot of scapes. There are soundscapes, smellscapes, wordscapes, homescapes, educationscapes, whatever scapes. This scape with which I work the most is schoolscapes. The term first was defined as the physical and social setting in which teaching and learning take place. You can see it's very, very wide, and I think it's for a reason, because you can encompass then the semiotic resources of and practices of physical, institutional, societal, virtual, and all kinds of spaces in which learning takes place. Schoolscapes are ideologically normative spaces, both in the educational content and their linguistic practices, and as Walderbrucker says. So actually, it's important, this normativity, because these institutions set the norms of how language can be used and how it cannot be used. For example, which languages or which language resources. It's not only separate named languages, it's also various dialects, it's also slang use, it's also certain registers, stylistic registers. So it's not always about different named languages. Also, it's important to consider the dynamism and agency in Schoolscapes. As Cara Brown and also other readers, other authors, including myself and my colleagues, told, in Schoolscape's, text, sound, images, and artifacts constitute, reproduce, and transform language ideologies. So there's a dynamism in how institutions and various agents in those institutions use the resources. For example, if you look around in this building, almost everything will be in Finnish, kind of visible in Finnish. Some things also are in English, but you will not see the second or the other domestic language Swedish, except the sign which shows you the way to the shelter. So then it also tells about these language policies and the normativity. Here I have these three images, and on the third image, where the teacher holds a box, it says Vorbim Romani beszél cigányul, which means speak Romani, which was a revolutionary act in that Hungarian medium school in Hungary, that actually the Romani language, which is a minoritized language and very much marginalized, that and also the community oppressed in many ways. So then their language was visible, and then in that box they collected the students' work, which were written in Romani. So in that sense, with this small action, which really doesn't require massive resources even, you can turn the dynamics, and then you can induce some change in the language policy. So that's what it means, that Schoolscapes, the various semiotic resources that you use, they can also transform language ideologies. It's not always reproducing the same system. We are a Hungarian medium school, so we keep everything in Hungarian. You can also do these kind of revolutionary acts of including other languages. And then, of course, it can go both directions when the institution recognizes that, okay, yeah, in the classes, also other languages are used, let's make them visible. Or the other way around, let's make some languages visible so that people feel encouraged to use those other languages. So that it can go to these various directions. And also this kind of three levels from Rob Troyer, I found it important because, of course, learning environments, and especially this schools and museums, libraries, etc. So these custom designed learning environments, they are in a certain societal context, in a certain urban context, in the neighborhood or in the center. That makes a big difference. And what kind of neighborhood is it? Is it a fancy neighborhood or a less fancy neighborhood, etc. So that it also influences. Also in the meso level, in Troyer's system, that's the campus. So, for example, at this university, that would be Seminar Hill and then Mattilaniemi, for example. So then this is the meso level where you can see how this university is included. And then in the micro level, for example, now in this room, how we use the various hybrid solutions, etc. Then it's the micro level in which you can look at what kind of language resources are used. Maybe in some private chats there is interaction in other languages than English. I know because I used Finnish in my chat with Tina just some minutes ago. So then, yeah, it means that there are some actions that are visible and audible for everybody. There are others that happen in a smaller circle. And about this normativity, this is my last thought, and I think why I bring this example is that many times we don't even recognize how automatically we kind of got socialized into certain normative practices. And it's not about choosing certain languages, it's choosing, for example, the layout of the room. So in one of the rooms in which I teach regularly in Agora building on this side of Jyväsjärvi, you can see this view from the teacher's view. So neat rows of desks. And then you can see a sign that I encircled on that image, and then it says in Finnish and English, if you change order in the room, put everything back. But of course, every time when there's bilingual sign, the Finnish is more precise. So it says more precisely, if you change the order of this room, bring the furniture back to classroom shape or classroom mode. So using this term, the classroom mode or this classroom setting, they assume everybody knows how a normative classroom looks like. And this is exactly how it looks like. So if you turn if you formed small group spaces with the desks, when you leave, forget about it. You need to put everything back to the standard classroom mode. So I think that these kind of tiny signs, these tiny terms such as classroom mode or classroom shape tell a lot about the assumptions how we use and police educational environments. Some further reading I recommend. You will have the slides afterwards, so of course it's impossible to go through all of these. And thank you for your attention.